tribute, and the Nats followed suit with precise timing of their own. Eye-popping home runs, combined with a stellar bullpen performance, adding up to a 6-4 win against the Reds. The lines have been drawn for Game 2. Coming up now on Masson.
Washington Nationals baseball. Washington Nationals baseball.
So what do the Nats do for an encore tonight? Game 2 from Nationals Park. The Reds are in town for the only time this year. Ian Desmond, a man of the people here in our nation's capital. You can find him signing almost every night, and the Nats fans really appreciate it, and hats off to him. Okay, glove on the cap to him. Bob and FP, welcome to the booth, and that was a great ball game last night. Little power, some pitching, well-played game, very quick, and some duos got things going last night.
Yeah, Zimmerman and Morse were fantastic last night. Storn and Clippard as usual. But let's start with the two hitters. These guys have been unbelievable of late. Zim, last 10 games, 351, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs. Morse, the last 9 games, 400, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs. You know, whenever you're hitting home runs the other way, that's the ultimate display of pop. And Ryan Zimmerman called his shot last night. He told the guys in the dugout, if I get a first pitch fastball in, I'm going to get him, and he did. And you know, the bullpen's been doing it all season long.
Yeah, Clippard has been amazing, and lately Davey Johnson has been using him in some 7th and 8th inning scenarios. And I had some of the Cincinnati guys tell me today that that's as good of stuff they've seen all year, what they saw from Drew Storm.
Yeah, he threw a slider to Ryan Howard in Philadelphia the other night that was probably his best slider of the year. He picked up right where he left off last night. So he's got the good 4-seam fastball, the good 2-seam fastball, and the slider, as good as it's been all season long.
All right, who's going to pitch deep enough into the game to give their bullpen a chance to nail things down? Johnny Cueto has a 1.94 ERA, and as soon as he pitches a couple of innings, he's qualifying for the league lead. He's 25, and so is Ross Detweiler, making his 4th start of the year for the Nats tonight. AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. And by Honda. See your Honda dealer and discover the great values now being offered. It's another beautiful night at the ballpark. Last night it was 84 degrees. Tonight it's going to be 85 at game time as the Nats try to make it 6 of their last 7 on this friendly field here. Visit Train.com for an independent Train comfort specialist dealer near you. It's hard to stop a train. The Reds are 59-63. The Nats are 58-62. And Cincinnati going to shake things up. Joey Votto, you know he's going to be hitting third, but look at Brandon Phillips in the leadoff spot. They've dropped Drew Stubbs with all those strikeouts down to the number 6 hole, and Miguel Cairo is in there. And of course they have an injury to Edgar Renteria, so Paul Janisch is the shortstop tonight. Ross Detweiler against the Cincinnati Reds. He's actually made a career start against them. 0-1 with a 4.5 ERA, 3 runs in 6 innings.
And a 4th start of the year for Detweiler. 5 1/3 his first, 5 his second, 5 his third. Last time out took the 4-2 loss at Chicago, worked 5 innings of 7 hit ball, gave up 3 runs, walked 2, and struck out a season high 5. Fastball curve change from Detweiler. Defense behind Ross Detweiler tonight for the Nats. Gomes, Ankiel, and Wirth in the outfield. Desmond and Zimmerman on the left side. Espinosa and Morse on the right side. And Wilson Ramos in the squat. And guess what? The Nats have a new leadoff hitter tonight. And there he is. Ian Desmond in the leadoff slot. Davey Johnson said before the game they're searching for a guy to get on base to be a leadoff man. He's going to audition a few guys here coming down the stretch. Maybe some guys from the minor leagues. Ian Desmond's going to get a shot at it. So we'll keep an eye on Desmond tonight, leading this game off for the Nats.
And of course, when you say minor leagues, a lot of people will think young Mr. Lombardozzi. Ed Hidcox, 7-year veteran behind the plate. Ed Rapuano, the crew chief, Angel Campos, and Alfonso Marquez on the bases. Reds are second in the league in runs to St. Louis. They're first in home runs. And here's a guy who's hit 11 of them, Brandon Phillips, in strike 1, underway at 7:06. Phillips hitting .283. He's hit over 300 for the last couple of weeks. And he has faced Ross Detweiler 1 for 3 with a couple of RBIs. Ross makes his 23rd career start, 33rd career appearance. And he's 3-11 with a 4.44 earned run average. And a breaking ball down and in. That's a swing, says Ed Rapuano. And Brandon Phillips is gone on 3 pitches to start the game.
Yeah, pretty good curve from Detweiler right out of his chute. Check it out. Good downward action moving in toward Phillips.
He tried to let the bat go out of his hands to convince the umpire there was no swing. Ed Rapuano didn't fall for it. 1 out, and here's Dave Seppelt, the left fielder. And Ross coming out throwing lots of strikes here.
Throwing hard, too. It's been 89-90 his last couple of starts tonight. 93-94 right here in the first.
Dave Seppelt, 24-year-old rookie. Out of play, right side. He's from Buffalo, New York. Played some college ball at Coastal Carolina. And the Reds took him in the 9th round 3 years ago. He hit over 300 in the minor leagues just about everywhere he played. I don't think Cincinnati was terribly impressed with the defense they saw from Yonder Alonso in left field last night. He can hit. They don't know where they're going to put him defensively, so they go with this rookie tonight.
Last 2 pitches, 95 and 96.
Free and easy too, huh?
Yeah, very aggressive. I didn't see that in Chicago. Looked like he was feeling for the strike zone with his fastball. Didn't have a bad outing. It was 90 miles an hour. And tonight, everything is very sharp early.
And that's another hitter locked up with a breaking ball. 2 outs.
I think the key for Steve McCaddy and Ross Detweiler, the key word at least, has been aggressive. They want Ross Detweiler to come out throwing strikes, pound the strike zone. And you look at the curveball right here, the grip, the rotation, getting it out in front. Nasty bite, just like the one to Phillips. Couldn't have started any better for Ross Detweiler.
Joey Votto. With all the ups and downs the Reds have experienced this year, he's the one constant they've had.
Hitting .366 versus left-handers this year.
That's a ground ball foul to the right side. Joey Votto leads all of Major League Baseball in on-base percentage at .430. Now here's the number for you. He's played in 121 games this year. In only 10 games has he not reached base via hit, walk, or being hit by a pitch.
That's impressive, but it's not as impressive as 366 versus left-handers. Come on. You're a left-hander. You're facing left-handers. He's got a 458 on base percentage against left-handed pitching. That is impressive.
Joey Votto working on his third consecutive season with a 300 batting average, a 400 on base percentage, and a 500 slugging percentage. Guys like Pujols, Helton, Chipper Jones, and Jason Giambi do that sort of thing on a regular basis. And Votto and Travis Hafner have done it 3 times in a row. That ball is hit a long way to left center, and Cincinnati's on the board. Bangs off the mound at the back end of the bullpen. Votto's 20th of the year. So add another feather in his cap, and Cincinnati's on the board.
Whenever you see a guy like that with numbers against a pitcher that throws from the same side he hits, you know what that tells me? He likes the ball out over the plate, because when you're facing a lefty, where's the ball going to go? Away from you on the outer half of the plate. So if you're hitting 366 now, probably 370 off lefties after that swing, you like the ball out over the plate, and you can drive the ball the other way. You just saw it right there from Joey Votto. A guy like Matt Holliday comes to mind. He hits right-handers better than left-handers, and that tells me that he likes the ball going away from him.
Well, the barrel of the bat flies right past Ross Detweiler. Good thing he didn't have to cover first, because he could not get over there. Morse takes care of Jay Bruce. Reds on top with a home run. RBI number 73, and the Reds have the early lead. That's their 140th homer of the year, by the way. And Ryan Zimmerman, since the day after everybody was setting off firecrackers, has made some noise of his own, hitting in the mid-350 range, scoring a lot of runs over that time, and he's the constant in the number 3 hole for the Nats. As you notice, Desmond and Ankiel 1 and 2 tonight. Danny Espinosa hitting .223, dropped down to the number 6 spot. And the Nets face Johnny Cueto, who's got that sparkling 1.94 ERA. He was out the first month of the season, didn't make his first start until May 8th after being out of there with irritation in his right biceps and triceps.
And last time out against the Rockies, very good. 7 shutout innings, earned a 2-1 victory. Gave up 3 hits, struck out 9 and walked 2. 120 pitches last time out, so we'll keep an eye on Johnny Cueto tonight. 3 runs or fewer in 16 of his 18 starts. Fastball, slider, cutter, curveball, change from Cueto.
Ian Desmond hitting at .232 on base percentage since he's leading off tonight. That number is .279. He's 6 for his last 15. And that chopper foul, the count's 1-2. I'd like to welcome everybody who's also watching the Nats and the Reds on Masson tonight. Orioles had the tying run thrown out at the plate to end their game at Oakland. And here we are. Bob Carpenter, FP Santangelo, Debbie Taylor at Nationals Park. Glad you're with us. Wherever you are around the Mid-Atlantic Sports Network viewing area tonight, up and down the eastern seaboard. Desmond 1 for 2 against Johnny Cueto, who, by the way, is 3-2 against the Nats. In 5 starts, he's had 5 decisions in those starts, and that's a front door breaking ball that sends Desmond back to the dugout.
Your defense for the Reds tonight: Sapelt, Stubbs, and Bruce in the outfield. Giannis and Cairo on the left side. Phillips and Votto on the right side. And once again, the squat, Ramon Hernandez. Well, the one thing Ian Desmond could take back to the dugout after that strikeout is he saw all the off-speed from Cueto. No surprises your second time up.
Johnny Cueto's 111th start, career record of 40-37. Good ERA of 3.84 for a young guy, only 25, still feeling his way through his 4th major league season. That ball really hit hard by Ankiel and has them ducking in the right field corner. Rick has been on base 15 of the last 16 games. On base percentage of .309. The catcher jumps outside and the fastball just misses out there.
There's more than one way to skin a cat at the top of the order, but for Nationals hitters this year, 1 and 2, we haven't seen them try to work counts. No matter who's been in those 2 spots, they're going up there hacking, they're getting their business done early.
That would be primarily Bernardina and Ankiel, at times Desmond this year.
Haven't seen a true leadoff style type guy all season long, where you go up there, you try to have a 5, 6, 7 pitch first AB, show everybody on the bench what the starting pitcher's got, and maybe work a walk. The guys are going up there hacking.
Ankiel strikes out. Cueto keeping the ball down, so like his counterpart Detweiler, strikes out his first 2 hitters.
Yeah, pretty good off speed right here. You see him show the numbers to Rick Ankiel. That's something that he's incorporated recently. You see that? Turns his back to you, keeps his front side closed. Enables him to stay back on his backside longer. Really get that push with his drive leg.
So Cueto showing us a little bit of El Tiante here. And so here's Zimmerman. Ryan's had a couple of career hits against Cueto with an RBI.
Remember, Kevin Brown used to do that. Kind of come up, show his back to the hitter, and go. And he did it more for deception than anything. He did, like, you know, to stay back on his backside. But if you remember, he was a very tall, big guy. Sometimes he would do a double pump where he'd actually kind of go all the way back to second base, double clutch, and then go home.
You know, Johnny Cueto doesn't look that big down there, but they list him at 220. 5'10". So he's a power pack out of that build, and then he comes exploding toward you when their hitter has to be wondering how in the world does he pick up home plate after making that turn. Two balls and a strike.
Yeah, some pitching coaches will tell you they don't like their pitchers taking their eyes off the target. They want their pitchers to be borne down on the glove at all times, but I don't think it's a problem for Johnny Cueto when you look at his numbers.
And the Cincinnati battery was jamming Zimmerman there on a 2-1 count. Working with Ramon Hernandez, the veteran, tonight. Reds pitching staff has an ERA of over 4. They're 12th in the league in that number. And Zimmerman on an off-speed breaking ball strikes out. Cueto strikes out the side. Nothing else to go with it. Still early, still dinner time here at the ballpark. How about a sizzling burger for inning number 2? of the second. Lots of strikeouts in this one to start off the ball game. Detweiler back to work. And a reminder, the kids' duffel bag will be here Sunday. First 10,000 fans, 12 and under, presented by Masson and DC50, starting at $10. Some of those tickets. Go to nationals.com/tickets and come and join us for the Nats and the Phils on Sunday.
Hey, partner, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but that's probably the most impressive first inning I've seen all season long from Johnny Cueto.
So you're seeing some serious,
unbelievable stuff.
Low hit stuff tonight.
Fastball was 96. The slider was sharp. The curveball was nasty.
"16 pitches, 11 strikes. Detweiler against Cairo, and that ball flied out of play to the right side. Little room in the ballpark tonight. Crowd not as big as last night. Some souvenirs to be had.
Check out all the dogs. A couple of trays full of hot dogs.
That's right. Dollar Dog Night. And Miguel Cairo is featuring a career-high 7 home runs on the year. He's a valuable veteran utility guy that has serviced a lot of really good ball clubs over the years, contending ball clubs. Kind of guy managers like to have around. Toronto, Tampa Bay, Cubs, St. Louis a couple of times, Yankees a couple of times, Mets, Mariners, Phillies, Reds, and it's off to the left side. His 19th year in professional baseball, 14th in the big leagues, and he's got Drew Stubbs, the center fielder, hitting behind him tonight.
And Detweiler stuff is sharp as well.
"14 pitches, 9 strikes by him in the first inning, and Joey Votto took him deep opposite field into the bullpen, banging it nearly off the back wall out there. And a 1-2 pitch. Well hit up the middle. Rick Ankiel plays it on a hop, and Miguel Cairo's aboard. Did I mention he's also a good contact man who's only struck out 24 times this year? Those two might know each other from Seattle. You're 37 years old and know how to help a ball club. You can play in this game for a long time.
Absolutely.
And that's what Cairo has done. Here's Stubbs hitting .251, 1 for 5 in the leadoff spot last night with a stolen base and a run scored. Just outside, ball 1. In the division tonight, the Mets have 3 early runs at San Diego. Phillies have an early run at home against the D-backs, who beat Roy Halladay last night. And the Giants have an early run at Atlanta, where they're trying to avoid another walk-off loss. Nationals start the night tied with the Mets and 2 games ahead of Florida. And Davey Johnson's ball club 10 over 500 here at home, winning 5 of their last 6. And Stubbs will foul it right side to even the count.
Yeah, watching some of the highlights of that D-backs Phillies game today, their broadcasters were saying that that was the win of the year for the franchise. Going into Philadelphia, beating Halladay.
And on top of that, FP, their 7th consecutive win that put them 3.5 up on the Giants. There's starting to be some space between the first place teams and the other divisions. Cairo got a walking lead, and the throw is waiting for him when he gets to second base on a bullet by Wilson Ramos.
Miguel Cairo now 0 for 3 on stolen bases this year. And when you go first move on a lefty and you still get thrown out, that's just a great throw by Ramos. Look at the quick release, staying on top of the baseball. A lot of times when catchers are in a hurry, they get their fingers on the side of the ball. It runs up the line a little bit, kind of goes towards right center field. You see Ramos right there in traffic, fighting to get on top of the baseball, getting that good 12-6 rotation. Pretty good throw.
That's up the middle and a base hit by Stubbs. So the throw by Ramos becomes even bigger. Here's Ramon Hernandez, the catcher, hitting .297. And that one is in the batter's box. By the way, we were told Hernandez was hitting 7th and Giannis 8th.
And the scoreboard has the same thing. They might be hitting out of order.
Yeah, right now, if you look at the scoreboard, Paul Giannis's picture is up. Where is Ramon Hernandez?
Pat Corrales has a lineup card in his hand right now. He's looking at it, and this is one of those things where if they are hitting out of order, you let it play out. Then after the inning, you walk up to the umpire and you tell him.
Ramon Hernandez, because Johnny Cueto, the pitcher's on deck. The Cincinnati Reds have not presented a number 7 hitter here.
I was trying to get your attention. I'm waving over here going, something's going on weird. Either my card's wrong or...
Wait a minute, there are 2 outs, so Hernandez did hit. Cairo led off, caught stealing. Yeah, it's Hernandez at first base, and the inning is over. So we lost track of Drew Stubbs and all the madness around the caught stealing at second base. Everything's in order. And this is interesting on our Luna second inning feature. Call them for 70% off all flooring. 877-241 Luna. Shop smart, shop Luna. Over the last calendar year, Joey Votto with a home run tonight has 1 more than Michael Morse over that time. In a dozen more games, 16 more RBIs, and the slugging percentages are fairly similar. So here's a guy who's an MVP on the left and a player for the Nats, having his breakthrough season, FP, who is in the race for a batting title.
It's only a matter of time before other teams are comparing their hitters to Michael Morse.
Who wouldn't want to be compared to Michael Morse right now? Third in the league at 323. And a chopper to third. Mike takes a while to get out of the box. Short throw, and it gets away. And Trent Jewett says go to second base. On a running throw by Miguel Cairo, it was well short.
And Miguel Cairo had a little more time than he thought on this ball. Anytime you're going toward the line, you got to throw back across your body. And the fact that he threw that ball overhand, it went right in the ground. Whenever you're on the run, you got to throw the ball sidearm. You have that low release point, the ball is going to go up and stay in the air. You come on top on the run, the ball is going to go straight down on the ground. And that's what happened to Cairo.
Well, that's why I mentioned when the ball was first hit, it took Mike a long time to get out of that box, because sometimes when the hitter takes that awkward swing, it just takes forever to get your feet moving. They've given Michael Morse a hit, but they have to put an error on the board accounting for the second 90 feet, and they haven't done that just yet. So it should be a hit and an error. And Michael Morse at second base. Hey, you'll take that when you're batting 323, right? Hey, if you're hitting 223, you'll take that.
Partner, you know I'm all about the hitters. That's some serious home cooking right there.
I'm just finding it odd they haven't posted an error yet, because I'm pretty sure that was not a double.
That would be some really serious home cooking if they scored that a double.
Yeah, now they put E5 up there. That's only Miguel Cairo's second error of the year. And the Reds are a solid defensive team. They made an error here last night, one tonight, 70 for the year. And they ranked number 3 in the National League in team defense, behind Philadelphia and Colorado. And a 1-2 pitch. Worth pulls it. That's not going to help with the runner at second base. One out. And another errant throw by Cairo, stretching out Joey Votto into what could be a dangerous situation with the runner approaching.
You make an error, and guess what? The ball is going to find you. And for a major league infielder, especially one like Miguel Cairo, who's been around for so long, you just got to put it out of your system and get the next one. But general rule of thumb for you infielders at home, when you're going away from the play, stay on top of the baseball overhand. When you're going toward the play and toward the base you're throwing to, and you're on the run, you can drop down. It keeps the ball in the air.
Here's Danny Espinosa, hungry for an RBI, and the Nats are very eager for him to get one or two. He's never seen Johnny Cueto live in between the lines before. Steps in hitting .223. And that time Cueto came inside on him. Danny fouls it back. Former Red Johnny Gomes getting the start against a right-hander tonight. And the 0-2 as Danny takes it in the dirt.
I'm still thinking back to that Cairo play on Michael Morse. Usually the first hit of a ball game's got to be a clean one. I'm sure Michael Morse will take it. Miguel Cairo, a sure fielding guy no matter where you put him, but usually the first hit's got to be super clean, and I don't know that that was.
And you did remark to me earlier that you thought Johnny Cueto, if too early to say no hit stuff, certainly has low hit stuff.
No, he's got, the first inning was the best first inning I've seen all year. I mean, he cut through some pretty good hitters with 95, 96 and tremendous bite on his off speed.
So the count is 2-2 to Danny Espinosa. His left-handed batting average sitting at .205, as mentioned, .223 overall. Cueto slowing things down here with men on base, or at least a man on base. And Espinosa hits it hard, but foul the other way.
I check out this play one more time. Just a little chopper down the line. Miguel Cairo coming in, gets on top of the baseball. Good throw, have him?
Yeah. See, that's what I don't understand about the call.
Good throw has him.
By 6 feet. I will not be surprised if that one gets changed, but it's hard to change something from a hit back to an error.
It is.
It goes the other way fairly easily. And Danny ducks back from a high-tight fastball. The count goes full.
When you're talking about a guy that's a potential earned run leader in the league, if Michael Moore scores, I'm sure there will be a phone call from the Cincinnati Reds.
He needs another inning and a third to get into the area where you qualify for the league leadership. Espinosa up the middle and a backhand by Brandon Phillips for the second out. Michael Bourse over to third base. Let's have a look at our Xfinity schedule. This series wraps up tomorrow night with Jordan Zimmerman going against Bronson Arroyo in a marquee matchup. Then the Phillies are in for the weekend before the D-backs come in for 4. So catch all the action with Xfinity only from Comcast. Your home for the most live sports. Get Xfinity today. Call 1-800-XFINITY. Three quality ball clubs on this homestand, with the best 2 yet to come. And a chance for Johnny Gomes, who's driven in 4 runs for the Nats in 15 games to tie the game and drive in his 36th run of the year. Johnny at 117 home runs, 2 of those as a Nat. Out into right center. Well hit, but chasing it down with no problem, Drew Stubbs. Nats get the leadoff man aboard and strand him. Cincinnati leads with Cueto coming up.
Pitching tonight has been pretty good. Ross Detweiler, crispy stuff out of the gate. Good curveball, good fastball. Johnny Cueto the same. You look at the off speed right there. Another sharp slider from Cueto. So Ross Detweiler cruised through the first. Pitched around a couple of hits, and some broadcasters that got lost with the lineup in the second.
Yeah, Drew Stubbs struck out on that throw down to second base. So the strike him out, throw him out double play. The Nats 114th of the year. And here's Detweiler, who's thrown 31 pitches, 22 strikes in the first 2 innings. And Johnny Cueto almost pitch for pitch, 32 over 21.
I don't know if that gun is hot tonight, but I'm seeing some high readings from both pitchers. I got Cueto averaging 92, 93 this year on his fastball. He's throwing 95, 96.
Wow.
Detweiler last start was 89-90, and he's touched 96 tonight. So we're using the major league gun. The truck tells me it's some kind of geometrical thing with 8 different angles on the speed gun, which gives you a good reading. I don't know anything about that. I just know these guys are both throwing hard.
Yeah. They say the triangulation carries very well in the heat of August. So we'll see. Top of the third, it's Johnny Cueto, 1 for 33 on the year and an .084 career hitter. Asking for time and putting his hand on his left lower back there.
He was asking Ross Detweiler for timeout. He might have felt something.
A lot of pitchers over the years have hurt themselves swinging the bat. And sometimes a check swing can hurt too. That's strikeout number 5 for Detweiler now.
And Johnny Cueto might have pulled something. He's walking back to the dugout very slowly. And he's reaching for that region that's generally an oblique. And that's the same spot that Pudge hurt his oblique. He bangs the bat on the dugout steps. Everyone's going to go over there and talk to their star right-hander.
Yeah, first guy there, Joey Votto, representing the teammates. Top of the order now, and here's Brandon Phillips. Obvious concern from Brian Price, the pitching coach.
I'll tell you what, partner, if there's anything going on with his oblique, just a little twinge.
They better shut him down.
24 years old, you're feeling something there. You can hurt something else just because you're compensating for this. Yeah, he feels a little sharp pain there just on his practice swings.
Wow.
Let's check out this swing right there. Tried to hold up, and sometimes putting the brakes on is even worse than a full swing.
Just trying to get loose or stay loose.
If I had a nickel for every time I had a teammate feel something there, try to chief it out and keep going and pull it and miss a month and a half, I'd be rich. Happens all the time. Because at first it starts with like a little twinge. You feel the twinge, and then you go full speed, and then it feels like somebody runs up and stabs you right under the ribs.
Brandon Phillips waiting for an off-speed pitch. And the Reds have their 4th base hit. He's aboard with 1 out here in the 3rd. From a different angle, Johnny Cueto again. On that foul ball. He doesn't grab anything, but the grimace might tell you all you need to know. There's Dave Seppelt, the left fielder. Struck out on a low breaking ball first time. I tell you, that Arizona ball club, nobody's bothering them right now. 2 runs in the 2nd, and they are tied with the Phillies 2-2. So with the Reds on top 1-0, has Dusty found his lucky spot in the dugout?
He'll be there for a while. He's probably got lucky toothpick, always sporting the lucky sweatbands. That's a given. And he'll probably hang out in that spot as long as they have the lead. We talked about it last night. He'll move all over the dugout. Sometimes you don't even know where your manager is. Very superstitious. If his team is going good, he'll stay in that spot. He'll tell everybody in the dugout, same seats. If things are going bad, he'll move all over the place until he finds a spot that works. I'm talking about the camera well on the 3rd base side of the dugout. I've seen him down there right next to a cameraman, chatting up a cameraman during the game. He's never made it as far as the bullpen. He usually tries to find a spot in the dugout that works for his ball club.
74, 78, and 91 wins in his 3 years with the Reds prior to this.
I saw something on the MLB channel today where Dusty Baker invented the high five when he was a Dodger.
Really? Wow.
I thought I knew a lot about my old manager and good friend Dusty Baker, but Said he came across home plate one day after a home run. Looked up and his teammate had his hand in the air and he just slapped it. And ever since then, the high five was in vogue. Went to high 10, low 5, dash.
You would think Phillips would be running here, but he's not. And he's going to make the turn and go to third base anyway on an extremely hard-hit ball by Sapelt. And safe at second as Espinoza got the tag down. And Angel Campos called the runner in there. It'll be a double for Sapelt.
Yeah, pretty good throw by Ankiel right there, and a better pick by Espinoza. This is some serious fuzz from Ankiel in center field. Gets the short hop, picks it, gets down with a tag. Can't tell from that angle, but with a naked eye, I thought he was out. You see the reaction from Desmond and Zimmerman, and he was.
Oh, he got the glove in before the foot.
And watch him put the tag down. What a pick by Espinoza. What a tag by Espinoza. I think Campos on the backside, no idea why he's got that angle for the call. You'd think if you're around the other side, you'd see it better. But it's all he saw was the back of the runner.
And guess who's coming in? You better be careful here. That's a fastball over the plate to Joey Votto, who hit one probably 390 to 395 to the back wall of the opposite field bullpen first time up. It's 377 where that ball left the park.
That's a big call in this ball game. Hey, 2 outs, runner on third, or 1 out, runners on second and third.
Yeah, and if you work around this guy to walk him, you've got one of the hottest RBI men in baseball on deck, who has ribbies in 6 consecutive games. And that's Jay Bruce with 80 on the year, 5th most in the league. And we mentioned last night how good Joey Votto has been with runners in scoring position. 416 right now. Target is inside, 1-1 pitch. It's up and in. Well, FP mentioned first time up, Joey Votto likes the ball out over the plate. They tried to go inside. This is a target away, and it's way outside, ball 3. And you'd rather see him throw ball 4 out there than throw a slider over the outer edge of the plate. He'll take the walk, and the bases are loaded.
Let's take one more look at that play at second base. I'm going to show you why maybe Angel Campos missed that call. Don't want to harp on it too much this early in the game, but if he stops right there, look at the view he's got. Bam, he's looking right down at the tag. Perfect view, right? But he keeps cruising over this way to where he gets behind the base runner, and you see him start to lean to the left a little bit to get an angle. That's because he blocked himself off of the view from the glove hitting the cleat. If he'd just stayed in the first spot and been stationary right there, he got a good look at that call.
And most umpires don't want to be moving when they're trying to eyeball a borderline ball down the line for a home run or a call at a bag. So the bases are loaded with Phillips at third, Sapelt at second, and Votto at first. 1 out after the strikeout to Cueto, and Jay Bruce steps in with 80 RBIs. Very late swing, 0-2. He's hit home runs in 5 of his last 8 games. Bruce has struck out 113 times this year. Detweiler busted his bat first time on a ground ball. And he goes down and in for a big strikeout.
Huge strikeout, great pitch.
Kinetic on the pitch track.
95 miles an hour from Ross Detweiler. Look at the location, down and in. Pretty good late movement. When you talk about an 0-2 pitch, I was thinking he's going to set something up right there. Now I'm going right after him. Great pitch. Very aggressive and got the strikeout he needed.
Pitch Track brought to you by Kinetic North America, providing world-class technology to our national and homeland security customers. Russ Detweiler matches his career high already with 6 strikeouts. He's done it 4 times now. The last time was September 17th of 2009 at, of all places, Philadelphia. So the base is loaded. His last 4 outs have come on strikeouts. And that's a fly ball right side. Espinoza, Worth, Danny's got it. And the top of the 3rd is over. The Reds have stranded 4 base runners already, and Detweiler survives. Tonight. What a great baseball family enjoying this August evening at Nationals Park. If you renew your season tickets for next year by September 15th, you'll receive a discount. And benefits include red carpet rewards, the Grand Slam Easy payment plan, and the Curly W renewal gift. Nationals.com/renew. If you're a current season ticket holder and would like to renew for what promises to be a very exciting 2012 season. Wolf Blitzer is at the ballpark tonight. I've run into him a couple of times during the season. And just to his left, Annette Lerner, First Lady of Nationals Baseball. Fastball up. Ramos hacking. It's well hit, but it'll die short of the track as Jay Bruce turned his back on the infield and then found the ball. Johnny Cueto appears to be okay after whatever that twinge was he suffered, and he'll face Ross Detweiler now.
We'll keep an eye on Cueto, keep an eye on the velocity.
That's a nasty breaking ball, 81, and the count's 0-2. Detweiler 1 for 6 this year, 2 for 32 as a major league hitter. Target away. A good eye on the breaking pitch. Leading off tonight, Ian Desmond, who struck out looking first time up. Target inner half. Detweiler gets a decent piece of it. Brandon Phillips, 2 outs. And still, that one base hit that should not have been ruled that way. The only Nats hit in the first 2 2/3. Cueto, by the way, now has enough outs to become part of the ERA race in the National League, which currently is led by Ryan Vogelsong of the Giants at 2.47. And we're talking with a guy of a guy with a 1.93. Kind of interesting. The individual team stats that MLB sends out has him at 1.94. And then the very same service that sends out the league leaders has him at 1.93. So they must have known he was going to get the first couple of guys out tonight. One ball and two strikes to Desmond. And Keel next. You might remember Desmond frozen on a front door breaking ball first time up for that called third strike. And working from the third base end of the rubber, a 2-2 pitch from Cueto. Desmond overpowered on that one. Real defensive swing. And the Nats are gone. Desmond hustling down the line. Nothing doing offensively after 3. The only difference, and Cueto, Detweiler matching up well. The game summary brought to you by Cox Wireless. Learn about the unbelievably fair wireless service now provided at Cox.com, and you can visit the new Cox Solution stores at their website.
Now check out Ross Detweiler pitching around some trouble. He struck out Johnny Cueto to open up the third, then a single, a double, and a walk. And a pretty good pitch right there to Jay Bruce. And you got Miguel Cairo to pop up. Drew Storen calls those man pitches, so he pitched around a tough call at second base and a couple of hits. It's big boy stuff. Nice job by Ross Detweiler.
Already matching his career high in strikeouts, sending that young man into wild celebration. One walk and 5 base hits, though, already. So the Reds swinging the bats. They scored a couple of runs on 3 hits in the first inning last night. And then Shin-Ming Wong shut them down until the 6th. Drew Stubbs struck out into the strikeout throwout double play first time up. Ross Detweiler, 53 pitches in the first 3 innings, so averaging almost 18 pitches per frame. That needs to come down. Stubbs, Hernandez, and Yanish, 6, 7, 8 here for the Reds.
Yeah, but for me, part of the maturation process, the developmental phase, is pitching out of jams for a starting pitcher. And to see what Detweiler did last inning, got into some trouble. A call didn't go his way. We've seen more experienced pitchers on other teams this season let stuff like that affect them. You know, maybe an error behind them, a call doesn't go their way, then all of a sudden the wheels fall off. That was a good job of Detweiler getting out of trouble. And for a young guy to do that, well, that's a big deal.
Straight up 8 o'clock here at Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. Beautiful night. 85 degrees, partly cloudy skies this evening. And the Reds lead 1-0 on a Joey Votto opposite field first inning home run. Detweiler showed a good breaking ball early in the game, and he tried one there. Ramon Hernandez has a hit tonight. Had him trying to pull that outside pitch. Nice belt high hop, and just in time, Ian Desmond remembered that was a usual leadoff guy doing the base running there. Solutions that help you achieve your financial goals from PNC. For the achiever in you, our minor league report, and here's tonight's Steven Strasburg update. Well, it didn't go well. 5 outs, 5 earned runs on 4 hits, couple of walks, and 3 strikeouts.
It went well. If he's okay tomorrow, I don't even care about the numbers.
That's what it's all about, how he feels when he wakes up tomorrow morning.
When you go pitch rehab assignments to minor leaguers that are excited to face you, you're going to run into some barrels. Like I always say, nervous bats are swinging bats. And how many times did you see guys like Roger Clemens or Pedro Martinez go down to 8-ball and get their head kicked in? Well, guys are excited to face him. Guys are going to get hits off you because you're throwing strikes, and they're excited. So if he's okay and everything's well tomorrow, that's a good outing for Steven Strasburg.
Fastball up to Hernandez, and 2-1 the count. In the air right field, it'll back up Jason Worth short of the track, and 2 outs. Thursday is ladies' night. 7:05 ball game tomorrow night. For you ladies, it's all inclusive. A ticket for the ball game, food and beverage credit, and a pregame happy hour party. Go to nationals.com/ladies night and check it out. And tomorrow night is your night. You see a good pitching matchup too. Jordan Zimmerman, Bronson Arroyo. If Arroyo wasn't pitching tomorrow night, he might have provided a little pregame music. Quite the musician he is. Right off the bat of Paul Janisch. And the count's 1-1. Pretty good looking changeup, just low, 2-1. And well hit. One hopper by the number 8 hitter, and that gets Cueto back to the plate here in the 4th inning. So Paul Janisch with a 2-out hit will turn that lineup over for Cincinnati while collecting their 6th base hit.
It'll be interesting to see if Cueto swings right here.
Just wondering the same thing myself.
I might go up there and stand like a statue and take 3. He's got the practice swings going.
Trying to run his way to a bunt base hit.
Yeah, that's an idea. Getting back to Bronson Arroyo, a musician. The only musician I ever played with was Jeff Juden. And he got a guitar that he would play on the bus every time we were going to the airport. We lost a tough game in Denver one day. You know that 45-minute drive to the airport? Juden's playing that thing on the bus. Nobody wanted to hear it. I wanted to go all John Belushi on him and just break that thing over his head. There's certain times when you want to, tough loss. You have the long drive.
No folk songs at that point, right?
Yeah, 45-minute drive to the airport in Denver, and he's in the back playing his banjo.
Oh, boy.
I just want to smash that thing all over the bus.
Yeah, that's not the time for old Susanna.
No.
Fastball right down the middle, 1-2. That's like the famous story with the Yankees. Phil Linz playing the harmonica, and the manager said, "Tell him to shut that thing down." And Phil Linz said, "What do you say?" Mickey Mantle said, "Play louder." Big fight on the bus. I think that was Billy Martin who told him to shut it down, and Mickey said, "Play it louder." Two balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs and a runner at first here in the 4th. That'll end the inning and give Ross Detweiler a new career high in strikeouts with 7. 2, 3, and 4 coming up for the Nats. Nationals baseball broadcast on MASN brought to you by Verizon Wireless, America's largest and most reliable wireless network. And by your local Lexus dealers. The Lexus Golden Sales event now through September 6th at your Lexus dealer. If you've ever wanted to visit the pilot house of the MASN yacht, there you have it. On the banks of the beautiful Anacostia on a wonderful dad and son Wednesday night in mid-August. Teddy had the early lead again tonight in the President's race. Brought to you by Geico, and Tom almost lost his head coming through the gate. But at the end, it's the great closer, Lincoln. Teddy's running better these days, though, I've noticed.
If there's no props, the race bores me. I need props. I need somebody tackling somebody dressed up like a shark or an astronaut.
Oh, okay. When you said I need props, I was going to say you're a really good analyst.
No, I need those guys dressed up in costumes and stuff.
Ankiel, the hitter, right off the end of the bat, takes a funny hop off the mound, and Rick Ankiel's safe. Changed directions on Johnny Cueto, did it. Boy, talk about 2 funky scoring plays to call tonight for the official score in a low-hit game.
And this is a lot like Jesus Flores hit in Chicago. Look at that. A lot of spin on the ball. It hits the dirt, kicks straight toward third base. And I don't know if Johnny Cueto's okay. He's walking around taking inventory right now, trying to pitch through that little thing he felt in his side.
Now, to me, that's a base hit because that's a bad hop.
I already put it as a hit in my book. They gave it an error?
No, it's a hit. I was just hopefully not anticipating an errant call. So the Nats have 2 infield choppers. And here's Zimmerman. Nothing wrong with a chop and a blast.
A base hit. Dusty Baker moved. He's over by the helmet rack right now.
I'd like to see a time-lapse piece of video on the Reds dugout with him in all of his different locations. That would be really something. Well, a disappointing season for Dusty and his Reds. 4 games under 500. 12.5 behind Milwaukee. Brewers have won 5 straight. Zimmerman with a base hit. Great extension and getting around that ball into left field. 2 on, nobody out. Let's have a look on the Dodge Exmo.
The pitch is up from Cueto, and I'm wondering if he's okay. Great swing by Ryan Zimmerman right out over the plate. That, folks, is right on the barrel. Absolute P-rod to left field. With Johnny Cueto still walking around the mound. The velocity's down and the pitches are up.
Exmo brought to you by the Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram summer clearance event. These offers won't last long. Hurry in to your local dealership. Big spot for Michael Morse. Well, that was the first real clean hit of the night. So Enkeel's at second, Zimmerman at first base here in the 4th. Suddenly the Nats have 2 of their 3 hits. Johnny Cueto tying his shoe, just looking real uncomfortable right now. Teams know that Michael likes the ball out over the plate, so we've seen some of them try to bust him inside lately. Worth is waiting, but sometimes it's hard to bust him in there and get a strike call because he's so far off the plate. Softball numbers on 2-1 counts this year. And Cueto will get the strike call from Ed Hitchcox on that one. Wow, since May Showers, this guy has been all over the league stat sheet.
Let's go with the slugging percentage. Come on.
Wow. Morse all locked up. And a great take, you'd have to call it. 3-2, and Cueto stares in at the umpire.
Well, that might have been a makeup call for the last pitch. I didn't think the one before that was a strike. I thought that one was a strike, and that's how it goes sometimes. Michael Moore stepped out unhappy with the call before that. Johnny Cueto unhappy with that call, and Dusty Baker not happy either.
Chris Spire alongside. 3-2 now with nobody out. Cueto steps off. I don't know. Nobody out. Worth on deck. Does Davy Johnson do something with the runners here?
No. And this is not necessarily a fastball count.
And they are holding as Morse fights it off. It'll take a quick play by Cairo to get him. And it moves both of the runners ahead to second and third.
A productive out right there from Morse. Probably swung at ball 4.
But he sure didn't want to take strike 3 the way that inside corner FP was looking so unpredictable on those 2 calls.
And pretty good fastball. He's mad at himself for swinging at it right now. 96 miles an hour. Not a lot of time to make up your mind on a 3-2 pitch.
So here's Worth.
It was up and in. Look where it hits. Below the pine tar.
Wow. Shattering the handle.
Well, it works out like a sacrifice bunt.
Tying run third base. 1 out here in the 4th. Jason Worth, 45 RBIs on the year. That's a busted bat and an easy out.
And Jason Worth is not going to be happy with that at bat.
And he's had 2 unproductive outs tonight. First time up, Morse was on second base, nobody out, and he pulled the ball to Miguel Cairo at third.
And the bat broke, and I would imagine that's not all that's breaking in the tunnel right now.
Kenny Espinosa coming in, and Brian Price, the Reds pitching coach, will make a visit to Cueto.
That's a rough at-bat for Jason Worth. He got the infield back. And you're thinking it's all I need to do to tie this ball game up is hit a ground ball to short. The ball ran in on him, couldn't get the barrel to the baseball. And now it's up to Danny Espinoza. I think this trip right here is just to say, hey, do you want Espinoza or do you want Gomes? Who do you feel more comfortable with first base open and 2 outs?
Danny Espinoza pulled it to the second baseman first time. There's another busted bat. And this one speared by Phillips. And the Nats are done in the 4th. They've stranded 3. Reds have left 5. On the Joey Votto first inning homer by inches. This one stays a 1-0 game. Pitchers duel tonight. One swing the difference. AT&T, let's check in on some trivia facts. Ryan Zimmerman, 23 straight games. Longest active streak in the National League. But he is not by far the best on-base guy in the ballpark in this series. We have more for you shortly. Ross Detwiler, lots of pitches, 73 of them in 4 innings. And you might say he has scattered those 6 hits. They've had 2 innings where they've had at least 2 hits, but he's kept the Reds off the board lately. Top of the order, Brandon Phillips. Hot shot, Zimmerman to his left, making it look pretty simple. 1 out.
That's why they call it the hot corner. It gets on you quick, playing in for the bunt. And taking that away from Brandon Phillips. And now you get a serious bullet a couple steps to your left. You get it quick, and you know, even with a fast runner, you get the ball that fast, you got lots of time to make your throw. You got the hard part out of the way early.
Next up, Dave Sappelt, the left fielder. Double last time. That shot out to left center. That set up the Reds with their bases loaded 1 out situation in the 3rd. But the biggest AB of the night was Detwiler striking out Jay Bruce. That ball laced out to center. And Keel turning and finding it. And a couple of quick outs now here in the 5th. Let's finish off our on-base trivia. Zimmerman with a base hit tonight, 1 for 2. So he's been on base every day for over 3 weeks. There you got it. Joey Votto and Jay Bruce, 2nd and 3rd. And speaking of Mr. Votto, now hitting .320. Ryan Braun's at .329. And of course, Jose Reyes hurt at .336. This one will be chased by Zimmerman. There's a chance, just a little out of his reach.
And check out the home run in the first inning from Joey Votto. He just all over this pitch from Detweiler. Fastball down away, got his arms extended, driving it the other way.
That's a no-doubter opposite field, FP.
366 against lefties going into that at bat. Now he stands at 371.
Yeah, walked his second time up, so how do you get him? On base percentage of over .430 now.
I would say inner half. He likes to get extended. Likes the ball out over the plate. Pound him in.
There goes the target in there. Just a little bit low, evidently. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Red hot RBI man Jay Bruce next if they walk Votto again.
The same pitch that Ross Detweiler struck out Jay Bruce in the third is the pitch right here. That fastball right under his hands.
And he goes up and in. Joey Votto on base for the 5th time in this series in 7 plate appearances. Well, a couple of innings ago, Detweiler walked him, got the 2 big outs he needed. So better to avoid a guy who may be your new nemesis and go after somebody else. In this case, Bruce, who's 0 for 2. Right over, but low. Some pretty good deception there. Late swing on a 2-0 pitch. And into right field. Didn't hit it well at all. And Detweiler has matched up really well with Jay Bruce 3 times tonight. Halfway through the game, Ross battling. Reds lead 1-0. Bottom of the order coming up, bottom 5. And now it's time to check in with Debbie with our AFCEA sideline report. Visit AFCEA.org, the association for IT pros. Debbie.
Well, Reds right fielder Jay Bruce told me earlier today he was pretty shocked when Cincinnati traded Johnny Gomes, his former locker mate, here to Washington, but he also added that Johnny was a great teammate.
He's got the mohawk, he's got the tattoos. You know, you'd think that he'd just be this crazy, you know, guy. He's really not, though. He's a nice guy. You know, he's witty, he's funny. You know, he's a good guy to be around. He's a good guy to hang out with. You know, but he'll get a little wild when we need him to.
And you can hear more from Jay on Johnny Gomes and this year's Cincinnati Reds tomorrow on the Mid-Atlantic Sports Report with Tom Davis, along with Phil Wood, Mal Antonin, and, of course, the other Dave Johnson. It all kicks off at 5:30 on Masson. Bob, FP.
All right, Debbie, thank you. Monday through Friday, the Mid-Atlantic Sports Report. And it returns Thursday, 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Johnny Gomes, certainly a unique personality. Had a pretty stringent workout regimen during the offseason. Kind of works out like some of the military guys do. A lot of the same strength exercises and all that.
He's added so much life to this ball club. On the airplane, in the clubhouse. Just a different vibe since this guy's got here. Bats two at bats been pretty good too. Pinch hit last night, lined out to center field. First time up tonight, lined out to center field.
And a breaking ball well outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Tom Gorzolani is warming up because Ross Detweiler has thrown 86 pitches in 5 innings. Detweiler's been right at 17 to 18 pitches per inning this evening. And that indicates the Nats could be hitting for Ross here, due up 3rd in the 5th. Ramos is next. But he's got his batting gloves on, expecting to hit until they tell him otherwise. Johnny reaching for a breaking ball, over to cut it off. Cairo lets it go. Out on a close play at first. And Johnny Gomes takes off his helmet, makes a right turn, and Davey Johnson wants to talk it over with Ed Rapuano.
Johnny Gomes told me he never argues with umpires. You see it right there. He just took his helmet off, showed a little frustration. We'll check out the replay. From the naked eye, way up here where we sit, I thought he was safe. You see Cairo running a little interference for Giannis. He had the big arm to end that, but I thought he was in there. Let's check it out.
All right, this will tell.
Safe.
Yes, he was safe. Here's Ramos, who flied to right field first time. And if Wilson Ramos gets on base, that could be it for Detweiler in favor of a pinch hitter. Gorzolani still throwing. Target inside. Ramos hits it hard right at Paul Giannis, who throws out his 2nd consecutive base runner. And Detweiler will bat with the bases empty and 2 outs. Mets still have their 3-0 lead at San Diego. They're in the 7th inning now as they try to stay tied or ahead of the Nats. Both teams tied for 3rd in the Central, or rather the East. Braves 7.5 out, and the Phillies still battling Arizona. 2-2 ball game, 5th inning. Atlanta hammered at home right now by the Giants, 5-1. Still early there, 4th inning.
Pretty good hack. Usually a swing like that, I'll buy a curveball next pitch.
Detweiler grounded out to second base first time up. He has struck out Johnny Cueto twice tonight.
And Gorzelani's still getting it hot in the Nats bullpen. I'm just wondering if Davey Johnson is saving his bench right here and Gorzelani's in this game.
I think you might be right because he's playing with a short bench. Nats have only had 4 extra men, including that extra catcher, for the last couple of weeks. Beautiful night in D.C. for a monument and a fountain. Brought to you by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. FDR Memorial is awesome over in the district. And the Ian Desmond bobblehead will be pretty good on Saturday night. First 15,000 fans into the gates receive one presented by PNC Bank. Tickets start at just $10. Not many left for the weekend series. Go to nationals.com/tickets for all your info. One more with the Reds tomorrow night. The Phils for 3, and then the red-hot Arizona Diamondbacks will be here next week. Cincinnati box score. They have a bunch of base hits, 6 of them. A couple of walks by Joey Votto. And he accounts for the only run of the night with that opposite field first inning home run.
I think all in all, Ross Detweiler's been very nice tonight. Very aggressive, attacking the strike zone. Had a good fastball so far, good curveball. Nice warm night, good night to pitch. The velocity's been there since the first pitch of the baseball game.
Here's Miguel Cairo, 1 for 2 with a base hit. And then he hit that fly ball with the bases loaded that had us concerned before Danny Espinosa ranged way out into right field to pull that thing in. This one pulled. Backhand Zimmerman from foul ground. Safe at first. And here comes Davey Johnson again.
Ed Rapuano not having a perfect game tonight. Not even close.
This discussion a little more animated and taking longer.
That's as fired up as we've seen the skipper all season long. Check out the replay. A close call the inning before on Johnny Gomes' ball didn't go the Nats' way. Pretty good throw by Zimmerman. We've seen him have trouble with that backhand throw.
That is really close.
That's one, the more Michael Morse plays first base, he'll figure out how to cheat on that ball. What do I mean by that? We kind of come off the bag a little quicker than he did. Eric Karros with the Dodgers was great at it. He'd come off the base, come get the baseball. That's how you buy a call in a bang-bang play at first base. You kind of come off the base just a tick early, catch the ball, start to throw it around.
Exactly, start the throw.
You sell the call to the umpire instead of just staying on there and stretching. The more he plays first base, he'll learn how to cheat on that call.
I think both runners were safe. The Nats get neither call. Andrew Stubbs 0 for 2 steps in. And a 1-0 pitch to him misses low and away.
The one advantage you have of being in the first base dugout is you hear both sounds. You hear the sound of the ball hitting the glove. You hear the sound of the runner's foot hitting the base. And that's where you see the arguments come generally on those close plays from the first base dugout.
Espinosa really coming off the bag quickly at second, but no throw because Drew Stubbs can fly. That'll be a 5-4 on the fielder's choice. First out, top 6.
Good trade of runners right there for the Reds.
So Tom Gorzelani still throwing, and Todd Coffey, oh yeah, a former Cincinnati Red, will join him.
They just traded out a guy that's 0 for 3 in stolen bases for a guy that's got 29. Drew Stubbs, 29 stolen bases on the year, has been caught 7 times.
The Reds have stolen 67 on the year. It's 21 fewer than the Nats, who are 5th in the league. The Reds are 4th from the bottom. They're just not a running ball club with the exception of 1 or 2 guys. Power club, lead the league in homers with 140. And tonight they've out-hit the Nationals 7-3. Stubbs has a good lead and Detweiler checks him. Down to the number 8 man next, Paul Janisch. .90 upstairs, 2-0.
Ramon Hernandez can handle the bat very well. He's my teammate in Oakland. Nobody did the hit and run better than Ramon. Got a good runner at first base, a guy that can handle the bat. I wouldn't be surprised to see some action here in the next couple of pitches.
It's an interesting ability as he tried to go to right field. Interesting ability, FP, for a catcher who hits for power to have an extra dimension from a guy like that.
Yeah, he stays inside the ball so well from the right side. You hang something, you make a mistake, he'll pull it out of the yard, but for the most part, he likes to go the other way.
He's hit 160 career home runs in 13 years now. That's a good pitch. Letter high inside corner. That'll handcuff anybody. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And Ramon Hernandez with count leverage, looking for something away that he can drive the other side. Ross Detweiler plants a perfectly placed fastball in the inner half.
Reds have hit into 92 double plays this year. Coffey now the only man left standing in the bullpen, at least for now. By the way, Johnny Cueto's pitch count only 67 pitches in 5 innings. So he might be around for a while, due to bat 5th in this inning if it goes that far. 67 pitches, 44 strikes for the 25-year-old right-hander. That ball driven right field line, long way for Worth, on the track. Ball came twisting back.
And Ramon Hernandez right now saying that's a home run at home.
Yeah.
That might be in the river at home. Ramon Hernandez doing a nice job at letting the ball get deep and going the other way. Jason Worth finding the track, knowing where he's at. A long way to go on this baseball. It was hit a ton. Good job surrounding it, getting underneath it, and getting the ball back into the infield with a speedy runner on first.
2 outs now. Number 8 hitter Paul Yanish. Base hit last time to keep an inning going. Russ Detweiler's approaching 100 pitches now. He's at 98. So you would guess this will be it. 6th inning. Pitching well. He's gone 5 1/3, 5 and 5 his first 3 starts. At home against the Cubs, and then at Colorado and at Chicago.
And nobody on deck for the Reds. You have to have an on-deck hitter per Major League rules, and they don't have anybody on deck. It's up to the home plate umpire to look over, but you have to have somebody in the on-deck circle, and they don't.
And a pop fly right side out of play. Here comes Johnny Cueto. Somebody from the clubhouse said the Washington announcers are all over you. Get out there.
I've seen umpires stop the game and say we need somebody on deck.
Two balls and a strike. Stubbs still stationed at first base here. He hasn't really shown any indication of trying to steal. So Detweiler looking right at him must be doing a pretty good job of freezing him.
And very quick to the plate. Even if you go first move, as we saw Miguel Cairo early in the game, Detweiler's so quick, you still have a chance to throw him out at second.
Detweiler slipping a bit as he landed. Now Stubbs will be on the move with 2 outs. 14 pitches first inning, then 17, then 16, then 20 in the 4th, his long inning, then 13, and a whole bunch more here getting him over 100. Well hit. Desmond to his left. And a time for a crow hop and a throw. 6 quality innings for Ross Detweiler. Desmond, Ankiel, and Zimmerman now to get him off the hook and get in line for a W. Almost up that far last night. It's a 1-0 game. Yeah, you can stand up and cheer. Show us your scorecard. 1-0 Reds. Down the league in, or rather down the road in that Carolina League, the Potomac Nationals. And time's running out on the minor league season. Only a couple more weeks left to enjoy the Peanuts at Fitzner Stadium in Woodbridge. 703-590-2311 for ticket information. And PotomacNationals.com, the website. Nats box. Nobody with more than one hit tonight, and they've all come from the top of the order. 2, 3, and 4 checking in. Ryan Zimmerman still has the only clean single of the night. So here's Desmond 0 for 2. Johnny Cueto, 6th inning of work. That's well hit, but right at Sepp Held, the left fielder.
And pretty good swing, but that's a thank you very much from Johnny Cueto with the first pitch out.
Rick Ankiel 1 for 2 tonight. So is Ryan Zimmerman to follow. Not very hittable at any time of the ball game lately, Johnny Cueto. That's hittable. Rick Ankiel is 2 for 3. He's on base 16 of his last 17 games, and he's hitting around .315 now for the months of July and August.
A pretty good job of staying on the off speed and digging it out. Got fooled a little bit, kept his hands back. Look where his head is, buries it on the barrel. That's a nice piece of hitting.
Well, these two put hits back to back 2 innings ago.
I'm sure Ryan Zimmerman looking for something to drive. He's feeling it up there right now. The big home run last night, a single tonight. When you're in that zone, and he is, you slow the game down, and you're able to let the throttle out when you want to. When you're slowing your feet down, you're slowing everything down. You get that foot down early and enables you to let it go. Almost in golf, you know, when you're feeling it, you can let it go with your driver, and you know it's going to be in the middle of the fairway. Same thing when you're a hitter and you're locked in. You're slowing the game down, you're getting your foot down early. It allows you to swing hard and put the barrel on the baseball consistently.
Zimmerman gets jammed, and that's out to right field easy for Bruce. Second out of the inning with Michael Morse coming up.
Check out the pitch sequence to Ryan Zimmerman. He's going up there hunting a fastball. First one's up and away. Gets it to a 2-0 count. Count leverage. He's looking for that pitch. Just beat him a little bit. 95 miles an hour. Had a little bit of sink. Ran in on him. And he knows that's similar to the pitch that he hit out last night.
Pitch Track brought to you by Verizon, America's largest and most reliable wireless network. Michael Morse takes a strike outside corner. He's 1 for 2 with an infield hit tonight. So 1 for 2 gets you 1 more point on your batting average at this stage of the season. And the Reds continue to try to pound him inside.
And if you're Michael Morse right here, you're hunting a mistake. With the at-bats that the guy on deck has had tonight, I would be surprised if Michael Morse gets anything to hit in this sequence. And if he does, it's a mistake by Johnny Cueto.
Yeah, Cueto's overmatched Worth pretty well twice. And that's a bouncer to the right side. Why Brandon Phillips made any kind of motion towards second base is beyond me. Some guys play with a certain flair. Ross Detweiler, one of his best outings lately. Brought to you by Cox Wireless. Learn about the unbelievably fair wireless service now provided by them. Visit the new Solution stores at Cox.com. Ross Detweiler, meanwhile, a nice night to FP for the home team.
Yeah, pretty good night for Ross Detweiler to hang his hat on. Had a good curveball going tonight, good fastball command, good velocity on everything. Tied a career high in Ks, tied a career high in pitches, 103. I like the way he's aggressive all night long. He wiggled out of some jams. He fought, he battled. And I'm not even going to say he made a mistake to Joey Votto because that was a pretty good pitch. He just rode him out the other way.
So Todd Coffey makes his 50th appearance, 46 innings, 47 hits. For the Reds, in a 3-year period, 05, 06, 07, went 57, 81, and 58 games. Pretty good workhorse there, where he first perfected his run in from the bullpen at the big league level and then took it to Milwaukee for 2+ years. Johnny Cueto leads off.
This at-bat's going to be a pair of shoes. I don't think he's swinging. He didn't swing his last at-bat. He tried to bunt his way on. We saw his teammates tell him, don't swing. If it hurts, don't swing. We need you on the mound.
He's pitching an outstanding ball game. 6 innings, only 77 pitches. Cueto has gone the distance 3 times this year with 1 shutout. And in his young career has 4 complete games, with 2 of them whitewashes. Sean Burnett for some of the lefties coming up in a bit. Because if Coffey does not get a 1-2-3 inning, and there's one, Votto and or Bruce will bat here in the 7th. That's the 8th strikeout by Nationals pitching tonight.
That's not an easy thing to do, go up there and take 3. I don't care if you're hurting or not. Everybody's watching. You're on the main stage. And you take 3 right down the middle. And that's why Johnny Cueto jogged back to the Reds dugout. You're a competitor. You want to go up there and compete, even if you're a pitcher hitting. But that's a smart move. If you're feeling that oblique, a little twinge there, you see him stretching out a little bit. Obviously not hurting him on the mound a bit.
Brandon Phillips 1 for 3 with a base hit up the middle. Top of the 7th, 1-0. And he showed bunt, getting Zimmerman on the move, and then he took a swipe at it, and Ed Hickox rings him up.
Now, that's one of those where you take a little jab at it, you decide the pitch isn't good enough to bunt, but after you jab, you pull your bat back, and it's too late. You try to sell the call after you already made an attempt at the baseball.
Coffey goes fastball upstairs, 1-2. Left fielder Dave Sappelt is next. Hanger, left field. On the run, Johnny Gomes, 2 outs. Phillips got way out ahead of that. Get maximum access to exclusive Nationals interviews, special behind-the-scenes content available only through social media. Be the first to know when you like MASN on Facebook. So log on to facebook.com/MASN Nationals. Content you just can't miss. So here's what determines whether or not Joey Votto bats here in the 7th. And if that happens, Sean Burnett would get the call. Sappelt 1 for 3 with a 3rd inning double. Big breaking ball. Battle of North Carolina here. Todd Coffey, born in Forest City, North Carolina. Dave Seppelt was born in Buffalo but went to high school in Graham, North Carolina. Went to Coastal Carolina University. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count with Ramos setting up outside. Perfect fastball. Inning over. 7th inning stretch time at Nationals Park. Couple of Ks for Coffey. It'll be worth Espinosa Gomes coming up. And by Navy Federal Credit Union. A loan from Navy Federal makes car buying easy. Visit NavyFederal.org to calculate your payment. Beautiful evening. Tourists hanging around the north side of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. We have another night game for you tomorrow. Nats Reds series finale. Bronson Arroyo 7-9, but he's 4-1 on the road this year. And he's a very good hitting pitcher. Jordan Zimmerman has his hands full with the Reds. That good 3.23 ERA. He's 7-10. And Jordan Zimmerman will go over 150 innings tomorrow night if he has at least a 5-inning evening, and we are sure he will. Johnny and Ray every night. Nats Extra 30 minutes before game time. How about the night Johnny Cueto's having? No runs on 4 hits. Only 2 of them clean outfield hits. And only 77 pitches in 6 innings. Here's Jason Worth.
I mean, I think the story of the game for the Nats offensively so far is missed opportunities. But if you get down there and you step in the batter's box and you see the stuff that Johnny Cueto has, 96, 97 with late movement, there's a reason why his ERA is at 1.94 coming into this game. Tough to hit. When you're facing a guy with a 1.94 ERA and a 2.01 batting average against, you know he's got great stuff.
1-1 pitch, and Worth gets jammed. He'll fail to hit the ball out of the infield. Well, this one finds the grass for the 3rd time tonight. 0 for 3.
And last time up, Jason Worth lined out softly to shortstop in a big situation. This time up, this is why he's tough to hit. You're going to hit a baseball that looks like it's center cut. You commit to it at the last second, it just runs all over your hands. That's one of the better sinkers, 2-seam fastballs I've seen all season long.
And sinkers don't have to be at the knees to be successful all the time.
Not when they're 97, they don't.
Here's Espinosa, followed by Gomes. Nats do not have a hit from the 5 spot on down tonight. Danny's pulled the ball twice, ground ball to second. And a looping liner caught by Brandon Phillips. Just after 9 o'clock in our nation's capital. And we welcome all of you again who saw the Orioles had a heartbreaking loss at Oakland earlier this evening. Bob Carpenter, FP Santangelo, Debbie Taylor. The Nats and the Reds, and a Joey Votto home run, the difference in the game back in the 1st inning. And the 0-2 fastball turns Danny Espinosa away from the mound.
That's just not an 88-mile-an-hour sinker that you can go up there and say, oh, that ball's going to end up down here. Let me just throw my hands toward the baseball and get the barrel on it. It's 95 to 97 all night long. It's tough to get to.
Espinosa gone looking. 86 he goes. And for Johnny Cueto, his first strikeout since the first inning when he struck out the side.
Hey, look at the 2-strike pitch right here. Just a little curveball slider, 86 miles an hour. Caught the top right part of the zone.
How about that? He goes from untouchable to contact for 5 innings and now gets a strikeout for the second out in the 7th. Here's Johnny Gomes.
At 85 pitches, this is Johnny Cueto's game all the way.
He could make this a quick one.
See, that's the 4-seamer. That's the one that's straight right down the middle. And you say, okay, I'm on that. Then you recognize fastball again. You go to commit to it, and it's the 2-seamer. It runs all over your hands.
Johnny Cueto probably wondering, where was my release point on that one after such a good night? With the number 8 hitter, Wilson Ramos, on deck here in the 7th.
As well as he pitched, he's just one mistake away from a tie baseball game.
On a 2-1, a little spinner out to short. Giannis does a good job of coming forward to get it. 1-2-3 go the Nats. 1 hit since the 4th inning. Cueto dominates.
It's time for a forward drive of the game, going all the way back to the first inning. The first baseman for the Cincinnati Reds, Joey Votto, came into the game hitting .366 against left-handers. Gets a Ross Detweiler fastball out over the plate. It was supposed to be off the plate away. It was a center-cut fastball. He drove that into his own bullpen, and that's been the only run of this baseball game, and that's our forward drive of the game.
So the lefties coming up. Sean Burnett gets the call. And Sean making his 54th appearance of the year. It's interesting that the closer has the most appearances on the staff. Drew Storen with 56. Burnett 54 now. Clippard 53. Coffey just made his 50th. The boys have been busy this summer.
Not surprising when you play that many one-run baseball games.
Here's Joey Votto. Homer, 2 walks tonight. That on-base percentage keeps on going up. These two used to see each other frequently when Sean was with the Pirates in the same division. And that's a breaking ball outside, 1-1.
.371.
Votto laces it up the middle. How good is this guy? Wow. He's aboard with nobody out against Sean Burnett, and with more on the lefty, here's Debbie.
Well, Bob, Sean Burnett has 3 holds and a 1.00 ERA and 11 appearances since July 19th, and he told me that his recent effectiveness is because he made an adjustment. He's been pitching from the right side of the rubber, from the first base side, and he said that that makes it especially tougher on the left-handed batters. The ball is coming them at a much harder angle, so it's harder for them to pick up the ball.
3 holds and a 1 ERA over 9 innings his last 11 appearances. Sean will be the first to tell you, though, that too many inherited runners have scored, and that's something that's usually not charged to a reliever's ERA. So relief earned run averages can be deceptive at times. But if Sean feels that's a better angle for him to get that breaking ball to the outside corner, that's great. It's just that no left-handers in the league are getting Joey Votto out this year. Jay Bruce is 0 for 3. Ross Detweiler handled him pretty well. And that's a base hit. Votto turns and heads for third. And the Reds have a serious threat going here at top 8. Corner situation, nobody out.
Hey, look at the swing from Jay Bruce right here. Just staying on a fastball on the inner half and using the hole. Nice piece of hit and using the 4.5 hole right there to put runners at first and third.
Bullpen phone just rang. As now Burnett will have to face the contact and crafty hitter, Miguel Cairo, who's 2 for 3 tonight. Ryan Matthews just popped up out there. Nats back for a possible double play ball if it's hit up the middle. Right-handed batters this year hitting .297 against Sean Burnett. On a changeup, 2-0. And then Drew Stubbs.
I'm surprised with 6 outs left that the middle infield is playing back. A lot of times you play halfway right here and kind of read the ball off the bat.
Burnett's got the runner hung up at third, and Votto is out, diving back in on a 1-5. And then having a discussion with his third base coach, Mark Berry.
That is the best thing that could have happened to the Nationals and Sean Burnett. Better than a strikeout, better than anything else. You get the runner off third base. A good play, a good reaction, a good throw right on the money, and a good tag from Ryan Zimmerman. Field your position, help yourself out. Nats catch a huge break right there in a 1-run baseball game.
Double play in order now with Drew Stubbs stepping in, but a very difficult guy to double up because even from the right side he really runs well. He has grounded in to 1 double play this year. Wilson Ramos now out in front of the plate with defensive signals.
Yeah, but without the runner on third, the double play isn't as important. You just want to get it out right here any way you can.
Now we note that Sean Burnett against the right-handed batter, still first base side of the rubber. And out of play off the bat of Drew Stubbs, who's 0 for 3 tonight and 1 for 8 in the series so far. And there's the changeup, 2-1. Just trying to nibble that outside corner. Now ball 3. And Sean Burnett loses Stubbs to load the bases. Will he stay in to face another right-handed batter? Evidently not. So Ryan Matthews will be ready to inherit a bases loaded 1-out situation here as Burnett gives up a couple of hits and walks a man.
Caught a break and gave it right back.
Yes, he did. Call to the bullpen is packaged by the UPS store. We love logistics. It'll be the right-hander Matthews against the right-hander Hernandez. With the Reds leading 1-0 and their starter Johnny Cueto still in the game. It's getting late here in the top of the 8th. The copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals. So Ryan Matthews now making his 27th appearance with a 2.77 ERA, 24 hits, 26 innings, 10 strikeouts, but 11 walks.
Yeah, for Ryan Matthews right now, fastball, slider, split. Probably looking to come in right here on Ramon Hernandez. We saw last time up, Hernandez hit that deep fly ball to Jason Worth in right field. In this situation, you're hunting a strikeout, but if you have the opposition put the ball in play, you want him to hit it to a corner.
And Hernandez has not pulled the ball tonight. Base it up the middle and 2 fly balls to right.
Coming in.
Up the middle. Near the bag. Espinosa can't get there. Still gets the out at first. But the Reds score a run to lead 2-0. Just one of those balls right in between where you hoped it would be.
You want Hernandez to hit a ball to the corner or a comebacker. And Ryan Matthews got his comebacker. Good play by Espinosa to stay with this ball. He tried to peel out and get to second base. He would have had the double play. Hernandez doesn't run very well, so good play by Espinosa. And an RBI ground out for Hernandez.
Now runners at second and third, 2 outs. And Yanish the hitter. They do not have Johnny Cueto in the on-deck circle. And in this situation last time up, he was not in the on-deck circle. One of our emailers, FP, wanted to know, is there any kind of penalty an umpire can assess to the ball club if they don't put anybody in that circle?
15 yards on sportsmanlike conduct. The pitcher has to throw one pitch from second base. Now they just have to get somebody on deck to continue the baseball game. They're supposed to stop the game until you get a guy there, and that's that.
Okay, yeah, and that's meant to keep the game moving. I'm just glad baseball isn't like football where you get penalized for everything. This game you can penalize yourself by not executing. 2 balls and a strike.
And funny how this is a game of inches. That first pitch fastball to Hernandez was supposed to be on the inner half. It was right down the middle. And you never know if you hit your location right there. Maybe you get a 6-4-3 double play.
Breaking ball smothered by Ramos. That run, by the way, charged to Sean Burnett. Aroldis Chapman. Serious octane from the left side of that Cincinnati bullpen. Their closer, of course, is Francisco Cordero, who only has 23 saves on the year. And Matthews with another walk. That's the only thing that's really plagued him as a Nat. Control. So here comes Johnny Cueto. He'll stay in the game.
This will be very interesting. We've seen the last couple at bats from Cueto. He hasn't swung.
If I was him, I'd just try to push a bunt and maybe drive a run home with the bases loaded.
You got a chance to seal the deal here, right here. A hit would be huge for Johnny Cueto and his night for his ball club. And he stood like a statue last time up there. I'm wondering if he's going to swing. We saw earlier in the game he pulled something on his check swing on a full swing. And he looked like he was ready to hit right there.
Fastball misses. 2 walks by the Nats bullpen here in the 8th inning to go with 2 hits. Tell you what, if he's not swinging, he's taking the most aggressive takes I've seen lately. That's on the corner, strike 2.
This move tells you a lot of things about what Dusty Baker thinks about his bullpen and thinks about his starter. And most managers go for the knockout blow right here with the pinch hit. He's liking what he's seeing from Johnny Cueto tonight. Why not?
He does get the bat on the ball. Little roller to Espinosa, calmly throws to first, and the inning is over. But the Reds pick up a big run for the Nats. 8, 9, and then the top coming up. has an ERA of 3.42. Aroldis Chapman can throw a fastball through a brick wall. And they got Francisco Cordero. So why not the move there? Are they that enamored with what Johnny Cueto's doing tonight?
Yeah, it says a lot about what Dusty Baker thinks about his starting pitcher. But when you look at Fred Lewis right here, he ranks among the major league pinch hitting leaders, 10 for 26, 385. So very interesting move. Dusty Baker sticking with the starter.
And at times this year, the Cincinnati Reds have been about enough defense because they catch the ball third in the league, enough offense, but their pitching staff has struggled. So I guess he wants to see this one play its way out with a very good start by his guy.
Yeah, and the pitch count is low for Johnny Cueto. We said that this is his game, but you know that's the conundrum for a manager. You go for the knockout blow right there, or you stay with the guy that's been dealing all night. We'll see how it works out.
Johnny Cueto, FP identified it very early. Low hit stuff in this game tonight. First 2 hits of the Nationals, 4 just dribblers on the infield. And then a couple of clean singles by Zimmerman and Ankiel. Doesn't dominate in one particular department. And we made the note that he struck out the side in the first inning and then didn't have another K until Espinoza for the second out in the 7th.
I just think that second run the Reds pushed across in the 8th allowed Johnny Cueto to stay in this baseball game.
Yeah.
Gave him a little more cushion where if he hangs one pitch, makes one mistake, gives up a home run, his team still has the lead.
Wilson Ramos leads off here. He's 0 for 2. Lance Nix, as you have seen, is next, the former Red. And Ramos takes a big swing, 1-2. MPH Rod warming up.
Bringing Chapman, the gun might blow up.
There will be some untriangulation. Ramos hits it hard. Base hit. So important to have a number 8 guy who can get things done with the bat. And Wilson Ramos has done that pretty well. He's hitting over 305 now his last 13 games. And here comes Lance Nix.
You take a knock off Johnny Cueto any way you can. You see the bat shattering right there. Wilson Ramos gets himself a knock, and I thought it might be decision time for Dusty Baker, but he is sticking with his starter.
Exmo brought to you by the Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram Summer Clearance Event. Offers won't last long. Get to your local dealer ASAP. Lance Nix as a pinch hitter this year, 2 for 19, but he does have 2 RBIs. Started the ball game last night, struck out, hit a couple of grounders. And when right-handers get ahead of him, the book on Lance Nix is pound him in the dirt down around his back foot. Hit 19 homers and drove in 64 runs for the Reds in 2 years. He was hurt in 09. There's that bouncer.
The only thing about throwing that bouncer is if you leave it over the plate, you might be in trouble.
One and 2 to Nix. Upstairs with a fastball, strikes him out. Johnny Cueto, 5 Ks on the night. Top of the order coming up, Desmond and Ankiel.
Just went with the elevator fastball, 95 miles an hour on his 96th pitch of the night. If I'm Davey Johnson, I want Ian Desmond swinging away.
Yeah, tough to give up outs at this stage of a game.
It's a 2-run baseball game. You swing away, you never know. You might run into one.
Breaking ball, he was waiting for it, but he fouls it weakly. Joey Votto and Ian Desmond's leadoff audition tonight, 0 for 4. Rick Ankiel will be next.
And I like this matchup. Ankiel seems to be the only one in the Nationals lineup that's been able to figure out Johnny Cueto tonight.
Hit it sharply into right field. Base hit last time. The bouncer off the mound earlier. Let's see what they do with Votto at first base. Looks like he'll go ahead and play behind Wilson Ramos. But at least for now staying close to him and then backing up with the pitch. So Rick Ankiel 2 for 3 tonight, and now batting .252.
Pitch number 100.
Came in 3 for 8 with a homer and 5 RBIs against Johnny Cueto, and he's gone 2 for 3 tonight. Ankiel eyes it all the way into the outside corner. Johnny Cueto goes for a stroll behind the mound. A little drying from the rosin bag. 101 pitches into his evening with 2 outs in the 8th. Ankiel takes that one easily up and away. Counts even. Target in. Ankiel gets under it. It's deep. Center field, but Stubbs is there, and he has it at the edge of the track. The Nats strand a runner. They've left 5 tonight, and it's a 2-0 game into the 9th. (2-0) the Reds lead at RBIs in the first by Votto, in the 8th by Hernandez. And if you'd like to take the Nats with you everywhere you go throughout the baseball season, check out MLB.tv. Every game live on demand on your computer or your favorite device. Visit Nationals.com to check it out. You can order right there. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. Henry Rodriguez will be the 5th Washington pitcher of the night, and he'll make his 38th appearance. 44 innings, but 34 walks to go with 44 Ks. And 11 wild pitches. He'll face the top of the order here, Phillips, Seppelt, and Votto. I have a feeling those first 2 guys aren't going to feel real comfortable.
Yeah, Henry's job is to give Zimmerman, Morse, and Worth a chance in the 9th.
Brandon Phillips is 1 for 4. So's Dave Seppelt. And then Joey Votto has been on base 4 times. Brandon Phillips 7 fewer homers but more RBIs than he had last year when he hit 275 for the NL Central champions. He had 4 hits in the division series and homered against Roy Oswalt in game 2. Reds didn't have very many bright spots in that 3-game sweep at the hands of the Phillies. Great breaking ball, and the count's 0-2. Well, the Mets on their way to a win tonight, 7-1 at San Diego. The Phillies have scored 3 times and lead Arizona 5-2. They're in the 8th. Ricky Nolasco starting for Florida at Colorado tonight. He's been rocked early, 5-0 Colorado. And the Braves trailing 5-1 at home in the 9th against the Giants. So the division not having a great night except for the Phils and the Mets. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Front door pitch. What a pick by Zimmerman. On target for the first out in the 9th.
Play with it, Ryan Zimmerman. Check it out, real speed. That's how quick it gets on you. He stays soft to the backhand, give with the baseball a little bit. Plenty of time to make the throw across the diamond. Wow. That's a big play in this baseball game.
Yeah, he's down at second base with nobody out without that pick being made. And here's Dave Sapelt. He jacks one to left center. Drifting for it, Johnny Gomes, 2 outs. And it'll be Rodriguez and Votto. A lot of people have been waiting to see this matchup. This could be fun.
Joey Votto's upset that Henry Rodriguez isn't left-handed. 376 after tonight against lefties. Yeah,
but does he want to see 100 from the left side? Come on.
Probably. I mean, of all the stats I've seen this year, the fact that Joey Votto's almost hitting 400 against left-handed pitching is unbelievable.
It is.
You just don't see that from left-handers because, you know, usually throughout the minor leagues, they see left-handers, but when you get to the big league level, a lot of lefties sit. They don't face left-handers, so their swings kind of diminish against left-handers because they don't get the at-bats. But for Joey Votto, not just to hit lefties, but to own them, says a lot about the guy.
Says a lot about Michael Morse, too, hitting .331 against right-handers this year.
They like the ball out over the plate, moving away from them. It allows them to get extended.
Well, the first inning, a beautiful illustration of that for the Reds tonight. Rodriguez goes after him and misses low. That's his little in-between fastball, 94 there. We've seen him change up at 89 or 90.
It's his BP fastball.
Yeah, how about that? That's pretty fast batting practice. Target inside on 1 and 2. Struck him out. 99, and here comes some bats. Zimmerman, Morse, and Worth. The Nats are down by 2, bottom of the 9th, straight ahead.
Friday night. Happy to have you along with us tonight for Nationals baseball. Our ninth inning update presented by WB Mason. The update is the Nationals need some runs in the bottom of the ninth. It's been a tough night against Johnny Cueto.
Oh, Johnny, he's showing why he's leading the National League in earned run average. I think you said it was 183 or something right now. And he's missed a lot of starts, but 95, 96 miles an hour all night long. Didn't walk anybody. Only 3 runners past second base. He's put on a clinic. One of the best pitchers in the league.
Well, Johnny Cueto trying to get his 4th complete game and 2nd shutout of the season. Zimmerman, Morse, and Worth may have something to say about that. And speaking of saying about that, back up to Bob and FP and see what they can say about the bottom of the ninth coming up.
Yeah, Johnny, you got that right. And let's talk about the bottom of the 4th first. Nats had 2 on with nobody out, and then Johnny Cueto got tough on Morse, Worth, and Espinosa.
It's time for our Morgan Franklin pivotal play. Check out the fastball. Jason Worth right here is seeing a fastball in the inner half that he's going to crush, and this is why Johnny Cueto is so good. This ball is going to run in on his hands the last couple of feet. So you see why it's so tough to hit against Johnny Cueto, why his ERA is so low. When you see that ball out of his hand,
Ryan Zimmerman, see you later. Bottom of the ninth, underway with a bomb to left center. It took 2 hours and 33 minutes, but the Nats are on the board.
did it on a first pitch last night, did it on a first pitch tonight. And Dusty Baker out to the mound to talk to his right-hander. But how about the power from Ryan Zimmerman the last couple of nights? A first pitch fastball right down the middle, and he is on it. Head to the baseball. Watch the head on the ball. Perfect swing, perfect mechanics. And that ball was hit a ton. And just like that, it's a one-run Wago.
And just like that, the Nats are into the Reds bullpen.
And Johnny Cueto knew it. Up with one swing of the bat. We're going to show you the difference between the pitch that Jason Worth just saw that we showed you and the one Ryan Zimmerman hit. That was the four-seam fastball straight. And that's what Jason Worth thought he was seeing in a big situation tonight. The ball straightened out nice for Ryan Zimmerman. He deposited it into the red seats.
Ryan in this series, 4 for 8, 2 homers. And here's Francisco Cordero against Michael Morse. That one's inside, well off the plate. Cordero has given up 5 home runs in 51 innings this year.
Fastball slider change curve from Cordero. The fastball will go about 93.
Nobody out, bottom 9, brand new ball game. We'll see. Off speed, bringing Morse to his knees, and the count's 1-1. Michael 1 for 3 tonight with a hit. Gets jammed there. Over to the left side, Cairo for the first out. Next up, Worth and Espinoza. Jason having a tough night, 0 for 3. He was 1 for 3 with a double and a walk last night. That's a breaking ball that drops to the outer half. Counts even.
That was a hanger.
Cordero 34, 39, 40 saves the last 3 years for the Reds. Only 23 this time around, and that's a fastball low and inside. He had 44 for Milwaukee the year before he came to Cincinnati. And that's low. 3-1.
Hunt a fastball out over the plate and get the head out. Jason Worth looking for one pitch in one spot that he can drive. Too fastball.
He misses low, and the tying runs on base. And a big spot for Danny Espinoza, who hasn't had an RBI in over 3 weeks. But he has walked us off before this year.
Been there, done it. For a rookie, it's a big deal. Against the Cardinals, Danny Espinoza gets an off-speed pitch out over the plate, gets the head out. Celebration at home plate, everybody going crazy.
That was in the bottom of the 10th inning, and a 7-4 win that gave the Nats a sweep of St. Louis. Espinoza tonight 0 for 3, and Danny 0 for 7 this series. Oh, that ball almost went skipping by Votto. He picked it up on an in-between hop.
I'll tell you what, Joey Votto just saved the game for the Cincinnati Reds. If that gets by Joey Votto, Jason Worth is on third with 1 out. That's just not, I get to second base. That goes off the wall, ricochets down the corner, nobody there. Worth is standing on third base.
Changeup. Ball 1. Espinoza, 17 home runs, 55 RBIs on the year. He hits one well to right field. Worth has to hold up to make sure it hits the turf. And now the winning runs on base in the 9th.
Nice at-bat, Danny Espinoza, turning around a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
And guess who walks to the plate now? The ex-Cincinnati Red, Johnny Gomes.
I'll tell you what, nobody would love to walk off the Reds more than Johnny Gomes. Might be a little crazy to think this way, but we've seen stranger things happen this year. The opposition is 9 for 9 in stolen bases off Francisco Cordero.
And you've got a couple of middle infielders that if they don't pinch Jason Worth at all, he'll get a 20 to 30 foot leadoff here. Brandon Phillips will pay him a little bit of attention. Walking up the middle. Gomes takes ball one.
I'll tell you what, the way the Nats are spitting down the off speed, it's almost like they know what's coming right now.
That's on the inside corner.
Let's see if this was a strike. The box had it as a strike, but the way Hernandez caught it, he didn't present it well.
By the way, Cordero, 5 blown saves this year. That misses, low away, 2 balls, 1 strike. And the Nationals are suddenly having some really good 9th inning at bats here. The walk to Worth, the base hit by Espinosa. Now Gomes 2-1. Johnny Cueto's win at stake here. That's ball 3.
I mean, they are seeing the off speed very well, very early from Francisco Cordero.
Right down the middle with 95, and the count goes full.
And that might have been the only fastball that Johnny Gomes sees in this whole sequence. This might be one of those deals where Cordero is telling Hernandez, don't put down a sign. I don't want anybody seeing anything. This is a big pitch. Looking at Jason Worth at second base. He's gotten to see a couple of pitches over there. Might have the sequence figured out, so you run him out there, you say, just throw the pitch, no sign, here we go.
3-2, the runners are going. And on the ball booted by Giannis, the bases are loaded. How about Davey Johnson rolling the dice with the runners and maybe causing the shortstop to flinch?
Davey knows that the opposition is 9 for 9 in stolen bases off Cordero, too. Good job putting the ball in play right here, Johnny Gomes. If he swings through that ball and strikes out, it might have a tough ending to this game, but all of a sudden the Nats are in business. Winning run on second base. Good at bat, Johnny Gomes.
Error all the way in the shortstop, Giannis, and here's Wilson Ramos, who's had a walk-off moment of his own this year. He's got to get the ball elevated somewhere, and that's a double play that might end the game. 4-6-3, and that's it. And Cincinnati holds on to win it 2-1.
Now that's just an unfortunate ending to this game. They saw all the good at-bats in front of Wilson Ramos. Why were they good? Because they were patient. They were making Francisco Cordero get the ball up in the zone. Wilson Ramos decided to swing at the first pitch. It was down and away, designed for a ground ball, and Cordero got it. Pretty good takeout slide right there from Johnny Gomes. He went in there hard, but that's an unfortunate ending to this baseball game.
Wow. Crowd is shocked. A moment ago, they were standing, anticipating at least a tie on a beautiful night in Washington. For FP and Debbie, Bob Carpenter. Reds win it 2-1. Rubber game tomorrow, Thursday night behind Jordan Zimmerman. This has been a presentation of Masson. Stay tuned. Nats Extra coming up straight ahead. And from the booth, so long for just a while.